So Gina's kimchi, like I mentioned before, is based on my mother's recipe. It's a traditional Korean recipe with a second generation spin. And it's step one is fairly simple. You get a big head of Napa cabbage, and what you do is you cut up into these kind of like 1.5 to 2 inch size pieces. Okay, and then you put in a saltwater bath for about a minimum of 5 hours. Overnight is really the perfect time. So the second thing I'm going to do is just drain the cabbage. So just take it, and you get this nice, kind of crisp, but nicely brined cabbage. And what the salt water does is the salt water actually draws out the moisture from the cabbage and tightens and firms up the flesh, so you don't have extra watery, flabby cabbage, which is not what kimchi is about. In order to make Gina's kimchi, we use this kale called lacinato kale, and what I do is I go ahead and cut these into ribbons about the size of fettuccine. I throw it in this colander here, and what I do next is I just sprinkle some salt over it. And again, this is going to draw out some of the moisture. Next, I start making a paste. And in this paste, what I put is like the crazy flavor umami-ness, okay? It's really intense. I'm going to put lots of garlic in here. I'm going to put sliced coins of ginger. I'm going to put about half of this, not the whole thing, because it's a nice big knob, and some of this sojut. And we're going to go ahead and whirl it all up into a nice, stinky, but yummy paste. So what I've done here is I've taken the scallions and basically cut it into these long, thin shreds. The garlic, the ginger, and the salted preserved shrimp, I've blended into this nice thick paste. It's totally stinky, but really, really good smelling at the same time. And what I do is I add a tiny bit of sugar, and this is to taste. And then I'm just going to go ahead and throw in about a half a cup of this chili powder. And I'll add a little bit more. Just want to see how this paste is shaping up. I like my kimchi really spicy, and I know some people need a little less heat, some people like more heat. But this is going to require a little bit more. Okay, I don't taste it quite yet. I'm just building a base for this right now. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, a bit more sugar. It's just, I'm just tossing stuff in. This is how kimchi's made. We know that kale is a component of our second generation spin for Gina's kimchi. I have the other two in this large bowl. It's shredded carrots, and I have some sliced jalapenos here. I also have these gloves on. I'm going to take my cabbage that's been sitting in the brine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in this nice big bowl. I'm going to throw in this nicely wilted kale that's been sitting in the salt. And then finally, what I'm going to do is throw in this nice paste that we made with our savory items into this large bowl. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up, and you can really see the nice red color of the chilies. My mom used to make kimchi in big 30-gallon trash cans. Okay, let's check this out. Okay. All right. Wow, that's pretty good already. It's actually pretty good. Wow, fathom that. It's got a nice spice to it. Very garlicky. Kimchi are like children. Like, you never know how it's going to really turn out. It's like you do your best to do whatever you can, and then you just have to let it go. Alright, now let's just try it one more time with a little bit more sugar to it. Okay. I think that's good. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it into jars, and you'll see how beautiful it looks in some glass containers. Fantastic. Okay. Great. Here's my last jar. It's nice to really just pack it in and not have any air bubbles in there. Okay, so I have 4 jars of Gina's kimchi. All right. Rock and roll.